All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pixelship Podcast, number 14. The date is June 3rd, and I am taking up the helm. My name is Neil DeBow. I'm joined, as always, by the Pixelship crew of Ryan Blandy,
I wish I was Shakira.
Ryan Hayes,
I'm very uncomfortable right now.
and Joel Hartlob.
Hey,
All right, guys. We're going to start off, as we usually do, by talking a little bit about what we've played this week. Why don't you start us off, Ryan Hayes?
This week I have not been playing a whole heck of a lot, but as I'm sure a lot of people have been playing this week who own a Wii U, I guess all 6 people, I've been playing the new Mario Kart.
Mario!
Yeah, the new Mario Kart is pretty much just a really, really shiny version of the same Mario Kart you've been playing since Super Nintendo. I think the visuals on it are just really damn good for that console. It is arguably the best looking thing on that system right now. It runs at a silky smooth frame rate. The worlds, they kind of do the same thing they've always or have been doing recently, where you have your kind of new courses, and then you have kind of remakes of the retro courses. The remakes of the retro courses are actually a pretty good selection.
Yeah, I like that.
Moo Moo Road, or the 64 level. There's some stuff from the DS games. They all look really
They
great.
even got SNES, baby!
Yeah, they got Super Nintendo levels in there, and so the new
They're all updated.
the new mechanic, I guess if you want to call that, is like 0G. Basically, you can go on walls and upside down and all those things. The camera does a really good job of kind of just snapping to, so it doesn't really disorient you at all. Like it's just like driving anywhere else, because just kind of the whole world rotates. But it looks really good when you're kind of looking at your instant replays and things like that, seeing everyone racing and bumping into one another upside down. It actually looks pretty
Visual
cool.
delight.
Now, when you say snapping to, do you mean is it like a gradual thing, or does the camera actually have a camera break?
No, it's pretty sticky to the back of your car. So as you're starting to kind of go up on the wall, the whole camera's rotating with you. So it's not disorienting as you think it would be to go from ground to upside down. Like everything's really gradual.
Most times you don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect the gameplay at all. It's kind of just more of a gimmick because of the new replay system has been redone. And then it works with their Mario Kart TV feature, which allows you to kind of upload your best ofs and kind of, cool clips to the YouTubes, despite their history.
Joel would be angry when I passed him.
So, yeah, I think the replay system is actually really well done. It's about 30 seconds-ish of what it believes is your best moments. I generally kind of skipped through the instant replays in the other Mario Kart games because I didn't really feel like sitting through a 3-minute, course or whatever it is. But you have the option to watch the full replay, but by default, you're watching just 30 seconds, and it does a pretty good job. I haven't noticed anything kind of weird or super bland with the kind of best 30 seconds that they pick. Obviously they always kind of pick the times you kind of bump someone or shoot them out of the air. Like it does a pretty good job of knowing when things are important. It always shows you kind of crossing the finish line, as it should.
And it does this with first player and multiplayer. It does this same.
Yes.
It does it great.
I have
with
not played multiplayer.
when you do multiplayer, yeah, you can pick it in multiplayer, and it shows the best of whoever's playing. And then the finish line, it just shows the person that finished first in the group, first of the human players.
Right. I feel like
It's a lot of fun.
I feel like that kind of instant reminiscing when you're by yourself is a little masturbatory. I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of times things can happen very fast, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I hit that guy, or, I saw him react, but I really wish I saw the hit I made when I shot that turtle shell behind me. those instant replays kind of allow you to see that without having to watch the whole replay. Because again, I don't want to sit through a full 3 minutes. So if I'm just like, oh, I remember shooting that green turtle shell behind me, and he like instantly cheered, so I must have had a good shot.
Right.
So I just kind of want to see that. So you're not watching every single one when you're playing by yourself, because you're usually doing that just to unlock stuff. But I have to say that the level design is probably the most striking part about that game. I feel like all of the new tracks are really, really well done. They're not all the best tracks in the world, but I would say there's a handful that are extremely memorable and probably up there on my favorite tracks. Like there's really cool like airport. It goes kind of above and underwater sometimes. Like they're really unique settings.
The ski thing. I love it.
Yeah, Wario's
just
ski mountain.
One ongoing race.
It's a downhill run, basically, on a ski hill. But is a really, really neat level. And yeah, it is everything you want out of a Mario Kart game. It's got the polish, it's got the right feel.
Let's not skip over the blemishes, sir.
So the big complaint for the new Mario Kart game is they no longer have battle arenas. So in the past, you kind of had these larger square areas where you're kind of shooting balloons, with various item pickups. And it's kind of
part of multiplayer.
It's Mario Kart Deathmatch. They still have that system, but they're only on the course, so they don't have special arenas. As someone who never really played that, probably since the 64 version, it's not the end of the world to me. I understand why people are upset.
End of the world.
I think that it is a good trade-off for what I have not experienced it yet, but from what I am reading, as reliable and functional multiplayer, which is something a Mario Kart game has never fucking had. So that seems like a good trade-off to me.
And for those of you that have played it, how is the multiplayer? I mean, I know you were saying you were playing with somebody that's, I don't know, 50 miles away.
I played over the intrawebs, and it's a good time. Really no latency problems that I experienced. The only weird part is that you could turn the microphone on and off between the matches, but you can't talk to the people during it. So it uses the microphone on the Wii pad. You can always use a normal headset if you have one in there.
Hold on, you can talk when you're in loading, but you cannot talk during the run.
Yeah, there's this matchmaking room for your friends, and you can talk to them there, and then when the race starts, that stops.
Well, that sucks. I mean, that really sucks.
Yeah, so we just turned on Skype then, because...
Yeah, I mean, did they give a reason for that? That seems like a weird... maybe it's just to save on bandwidth?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Or, Nintendo thinks, it's 2002.
Well, we always knew that. Again, why the functioning online multiplayer is a big get.
Maybe they're trying to cut down on the shit talking. I don't know, if you're doing random matchmaking.
True. That could be.
I mean, it is... Let's face it, it is supposed to be more of a family, kids-oriented game, so...
Yeah.
Right. And that's all that I would do with that microphone if I'm playing.
Talk shit in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
I think overall it's a really, really solid addition.
They stopped the tyranny of the blue shell, but when you're in first place, you never get that item.
Yeah, but they always neuter your weapons in first place no matter what. You always just kind of have to hang back and collect the good items.
Then Joel
you know what you always get? You know what you always get when you're in first place?
Coins.
The fucking coin. And the fucking coin is the most worthless thing ever, especially when you have 10 coins.
The point. You're not supposed to get a perk when you're in first place. You're supposed to have no advantage when you're in first place.
Give me a fucking banana. You know why that's stupid, though? Because then if you're in first place at the end of the race, you're not going to win.
That's not true.
Because you turn the damn
It
corner.
happens to Joel every freaking time.
You turn the damn corner, and then like 6 shells come out of nowhere and hit you.
You're just
That's what
terrible at
happens.
fucking Mario Kart. That's
How am
not
I supposed to defend
Nintendo's
against 6
fault.
shells?
Well,
How can I stop
hey,
6 red shells?
Hold on, Joel. Hold on. So I found out that the coins actually do matter.
How?
So get this, all right?
The
The
bonus
more
points, aren't
points
they?
you have, the more your top speed increases.
Oh, all right.
So, like if you've got 10, like that's why it stops. Is like why wouldn't you be able to collect more than 10 coins in a game?
I assumed it was a point bonus, like kind of at the end of the race.
Well, that's how you unlock things too. Like
yeah, like
as
it's-
your
it's
coins
just
add
how
up.
you unlock things, but yeah, when you get these coins, and that's why when you get hit, they go away because it increases your top speed.
Gotcha.
So really, you do,
I'd still rather have a banana.
but you'd still rather have the banana.
Well, you'd rather have anything but a fucking useless coin. Again, because by the time I'm in first place, I already have 10 coins anyway.
And who gives a shit about top speed?
You gotta go.
No, it just pissed me off because the Yoshi's Island remake, right? Literally in first place for 2 laps, and then we come around the last curve, and I just got bombarded and ended up in like
fucked.
6th place. Like literally the last turn. It's such bullshit. Rubber band pisses me off.
Do you mean literally as figuratively, like it is now defined, or no?
Yes!
I don't know where you're going with that.
Crickets.
Yeah.
They redefined.
Joke is lame.
They redefined literally, so now literally actually means figuratively as well. It's in the dictionary. It's ridiculous. It's
Why would they do that?
I don't know, 'cause it pissed me off. I think
That's-
they did it all to piss me off.
That's even more confusing.
I agree. It's literally so confusing. All right. Well, I think that's a good synopsis on Mario Kart for those of you who haven't played.
Get
Any
it? If
other-
you have a Wii U, you're not playing anything else, so just fucking get the
Dude,
game.
it's a system seller, baby. People are buying that shit up.
I'll be honest, it's
The-
pretty good. I don't own a Wii U, and aside from Super Smash Brothers coming out, I think that would be on the list of games that would make me at least kind of consider.
But I mean, they're doing well. They're bringing you to your tipping point now. Like, all right, you got Mario Kart, and you're gonna have Smash Brothers. It's gonna happen.
And those would be the only 2 games I would need.
And that's all anyone's gonna buy for that fucking system. Well,
A new Metroid.
Mario World was pretty fucking.
Yeah,
fantastic.
if they did a new good Metroid,
Yeah.
bring back the Prime series.
Hey man, E3 is starting up in what, 2 weeks?
That is
There
true.
is.
No, sir. That's starting on the 9th, bitch.
Really? All right. Well, you may
Less than a
get
week.
your wish, Joel. Coming up.
Yeah, we'll see. You need another Metroid. You need another Zelda. That's good.
There are rumors about the Zelda.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're gonna be getting the Zelda.
There's a sniffer.
What is a sniffer?
It's when I sniff the games
All right, good for you.
up my nose.
Yeah, but other than that, I didn't really play anything. We played a little bit of stuff online, but we can talk about that in a little bit. I did finish Infamous Second Son, and my opinion of that game has not changed at all. It is a fuck ton of fun with the 2 most unlikable characters in video game history.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it, but something happens at the end of that game, and I felt no fucking remorse. And fuck it.
What did you do? Good ending or bad?
I'm not going to get into it because
What?
maybe we'll have
You
a
could
spoiler.
just say
Maybe
good
we'll have
ending
a
or
spoiler cast.
No one.
the
Everybody
good
knows
ending.
there's either a good ending or a bad ending.
I had the good ending, but I'm going to replay it for the bad ending because there's some things I want to do.
I
All right.
hear the bad ending is terrible.
Have you not played
Really?
this? Aren't you like the hugest fan of Infamous?
Yeah, I played the good ending
Oh.
because that's canon. The bad ending is never canon.
Yeah, it's always
So
like
fuck that.
beat down street musicians and, kick puppies into the bay.
I do not like to kick puppies.
I don't know, but I do like it. It's not really a new game plus, but they do pop you into the world after you're done to kind of finish up all your side missions, which is the game kind of wraps up pretty quickly. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yes.
I saw it coming when I was already in it and I didn't have a save far enough back, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to play like another like 20 minutes of this game, on one of my old saves just to get back to where I was. But once you finish the game, it's not really spoiling anything. It spits you back out in the world. Your main character doesn't die. There you go. That's the spoiler. To kind of finish up the side missions, which, like, I really enjoy some of the weird side shit, like the spray paint graffiti thing. Like, I don't know.
Fun.
It's weird, but I'm probably going to play through. I probably won't 100% it, but I'm going to do a lot of the side missions in that game. I think it's the best thing on the PS4 right now. There's nothing really out there. Again, why I'm kind of chomping off the bit for E3, because, man, I just bought this console and I'm already regretting it. I feel like it's the Wii U again. I bought the Wii U and I'm like, there's nothing I really fucking want to play on this thing.
Murdered Soul Suspect came out today. I really want to play it.
It looks interesting. It did not get rave reviews.
But those are the best.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It does not look interesting enough for me to pay $60 for.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the problem with most game designers now?
But that's why I like the indie game trend. Like, there are a lot of games I'm more than happy to pay $20 for, so it really works in my favor because I don't need to play Battlefield 16 and Call of Duty.
Yes.
And then I'll buy Watch Dogs when it's $20, which, knowing Ubisoft, it'll be on sale just after E3 if I had to take an educated guess.
Yeah, they do that shit real fast. They put like Black Flag on sale for like $30, like not even a month later.
I got it for the Wii U for $30. Yes, less than a month from when it was released. Now, granted, the Wii U didn't sell great, but that being said, it plays just fine on the Wii U. So
yeah, 4 definitely sold more than 3.
Oh god, 3 was such a fucking terrible game. But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
All right, sounds good. A lot of Mario Kartage. All right, Ryan Blandy, what have you been playing this week, brother?
Oh, little old me, I'll tell you. First, I got a code for the demo of Tamagotchi Life.
Oh, nice.
Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi.
Are these those like little
Tamagotchi Life?
Are they the little like egg things that you would carry around in?
Yeah,
no, that's got you with a G.
I gotcha. All right.
This is the weird little game from Nintendo for the 3DS. It is pretty much a combination of The Sims and Animal Crossing into an unholy union that just does weird things, but they don't allow gay sex. They don't allow it.
Again, children's game.
Do they allow sex?
No, they said the second one they'll allow it. They just didn't program it.
It's relationships. It's not intercourse.
Well, yeah.
Oh. So
anyway.
I feel like you have to clarify that. Okay, that's not.
There is a large difference between holding someone's hand and sitting on a park bench and railing them in the face.
Okay. Well, I made some people in there. I used my me, and then I made Neil and I made Joel because they don't have 3DSs. Because when you find the people that have the game, you street pass with them, and then they go into your game. All right? So,
yeah, we follow.
So, I made one of Neil, and I made one of Joel. And you can have them talk, and you can feed them, and they can do little things.
I'm not comfortable with this, by the way. Just on record.
You're captive in his video game system.
This is terrible.
And
this is my hell right now.
Neil is like getting papers together and goes like, "Hey, news update!" And he's at an anchor place, and it's just a weird, quirky little game that you got. They only had a few things unlocked that you could, feed these people in their apartment, give them clothes.
Do you do this in like a kind of
soft whisper?
No, but what I mean is like, are you? What's your controls like? Do you use your avatar to do these things, or do
you have sort of a godlike
Okay.
happenstance, but you still use your own me
So
to
my
start out
important
with.
question
And
is,
you-
how much like Animal Crossing is it? Because that will inform my decision whether or not I'm going to buy this thing.
Yeah, that's the thing that I wanted to bring up. The demo is very light. And by very light, I mean I fed some people, I gave some people clothes, I updated an apartment, and then the beach unlocked, the place that I could buy food unlocked, and then that was the end of the demo. So it wasn't really
So you
long.
don't get to really do anything. Like it's not like you're not paying back the fucking land baron shaking
No, you're
down
not
fruit.
paying
Like
the
there's not a.
land back. It's just kind of you make these people in here, and they do quirky little things, and you got to take care of them, and still do some chores. There's
Sounds a lot like a Tamagotchi. I'm just saying.
there's a billion things that were whited out that required full game. It was almost like Rusty's baseball, where
Bobby's baseball camp.
Yeah,
it
Bobby's
was
baseball
like,
camp.
here's your little game, but hey, you wanna play this? Well, you gotta buy the fucking full game. However, they did unlock the beach, and then I went to the beach, and then me and Neil were walking on the beach.
This is
Talking.
still my hell.
While Joel was in an apartment enjoying I think he was doing push-ups or something.
Sounds about right.
And I stopped playing.
So do you feel like there would be any incentive to play that game every day? Like, Animal Crossing, I'm always like, I got to get up and do my chores.
Out of what I played in the demo, no, because this demo is very light. However, I guess it's supposed to set you up for the actual game. Now, I was going to buy the game regardless when it comes out on Friday, but it sets you up for it, and then you get to keep whatever you do in the demo to the main game, and you get a panda costume for yourself,
All right.
and you
All
can
right.
give one out. Panda costume. However, based on the demo, no, I would not buy this fucking game. There was basically no game.
So the selling point for you is panda costume for a game that you really wouldn't even play.
Well, the selling point was the trailer for the game.
The trailer was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was
It
very,
looks like a neat idea, but it just looked like a glorified Street Pass game. It looked like something like, when you meet someone, introduce them to your town, and then just fucking move on with your life. Where I feel like Animal Crossing was a game, and the bonus was that your friends could come and hang out in your town.
agreed. That's a good point.
So I don't know.
You're
I'm
not
still gonna
sold on
keep
it.
an eye
That's
on
fine. That's why I buy the games, baby, so that you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll be interested to get your opinion of kind of the full version of this.
Agreed. Other than that, I mean, we've already talked about Mario Kart. I did play some more Battle Block Theater with you guys.
Yeah, we all played Battle Block Online. We played the battle mode because, disappointingly, there is no 4-player co-op mode.
Yeah.
That's,
it's only two
honestly, though.
Is this the guys that made Castle
Castle
Crashers?
Crashers.
Yeah.
Well, that is disappointing then.
Honestly, as much fun as we had playing the multiplayer, I don't even care that.
It's not a huge deal. It's just kind of disappointing. Like, I always like playing through stories, when
Agreed.
I can with other people. But you know what? To be fair, I haven't played the campaign yet. It could be not even remotely balanced for 4 people, and that's why they only let you do 2.
Yeah, it's not. Like we would have been tearing our hair out
Yeah.
if it would have been 4 people.
But I think overall
even
that game is super fun.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
It is a lot of fun.
And that was even with like the basic stuff. Like the fact that only Blandy here was the one who had actually played it any amount of time and had like weapons and stuff unlocked. The rest of us were just using those stupid frisbee mines, and we didn't need all the rest of the stuff. It still had a blast.
Yeah. I mean, those games, I feel like I always forget the name. They did Castle Crashers, and they did that Alien Hominid. What was it? Oh, Behemoth.
Yeah.
Their games just feel good. Like, they're simple, and they're straightforward, and they just always feel right to play.
Agreed.
They're very stoned friendly too. I don't know. You just they don't take a whole lot of cognitive dissonance, and you can just really
They're not
get
complex
immersed,
games, but
you know?
that's why they're fun multiplayer games, because a friend who's not necessarily super into video games can pick up a controller and jump in. You know, there's not a huge learning curve. It's like, look,
Right.
you're going to hit this button a bunch, and here's your objective.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it as a negative at all, because there
Yeah.
are too few games like that. Like, I can't sit down. We couldn't. Well, your girlfriend's different, but I mean, you can't get two dudes and their girlfriends together and play Monaco. Like, you know,
No.
like there's very few games out there that were what Mario was back in the day, or were what, you know, a lot of those couch co-ops or couch battles or anything like that.
Because there's so many tutorials and, like, teaching you how to play and, like, you know, yeah, I totally agree.
Our
It's the
controllers
simple fun.
don't have two buttons anymore too, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean,
you
you got 12
can
buttons
argue.
on your
I mean,
controller.
I'm trying to think how many buttons did Castle Crashers have? That had, what, 3 that you really used?
Right.
You had, I mean,
Yeah.
you had, I don't know about that. You had the whole. I mean, it wasn't.
You can play
complicated.
that
It wasn't
game
complicated. Yeah, I get what you're
one
saying.
button.
It wasn't complicated at all.
Now, maybe not the later levels, but
Right, and that doesn't detract from the fun at all. I don't think that it's not complex, and I think it adds to it. Well, cool. So you guys all would recommend it. I think it's selling for Steam right now at $15. I mean,
yeah,
is that a
if you've
$15
got
game?
worth
other
it.
people to play with, if you're looking for a fun online game for you and 3 of your friends, absolutely.
Very cool. All right, Joel, what have you played, sir?
Well, aside from those two games, Mario Kart and Battle Block Theater, just WildStar again, because the early access started over the weekend, and
Oh my goodness!
it came out officially today.
Oh, okay. I say, because I feel like I've been seeing more and more and more stuff about it, probably in the past 3 days, but that's just because it launched today.
Right. Well, early access, like I said, started on Saturday, and I honestly, for at least Saturday, it was number 2 on Twitch. Couldn't overcome League of Legends, but it was number 2 for a
Wow.
while.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
But I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It was a little frustrating over the weekend with the queues for the servers.
Well, yeah.
How about how
But-
long?
I think, well, the times weren't accurate. Like, the times that were estimated were not accurate for what they actually were. I think the longest I waited was an hour.
What
but,
was the
you know-
last progress bar that actually...
True. But, I mean, it was estimating at one point, like, 3 hours or something like
Hours,
that.
a
4
long
hours.
fucking time to wait
I-
to play a game.
But you know what I did? I just loaded it up and did other stuff in the meantime. It's like I didn't sit and wait for it to happen. There were a lot of people that were frustrated with it, and I mean, understandably so. But the thing is, too, like there are people, which happens all the time. People in the forums start going, "Oh, they got to give us free time," blah blah blah. But the thing is, the queues weren't on every server, and they actually did stuff to alleviate some of the issues. The biggest problems were the PvP servers because they only had 3 to start, player versus player servers.
So
By-
people are jacking in to their first session in PvP. That seems ballsy.
Well, I mean,
I think it's just
That's
you
what I
have
did.
character and the option, right?
You can actually
okay.
level up strictly by doing PvP.
Here's the difference
Oh.
between a PvP server and a PvE server. PvP, player versus player, means that there's world PvP, right? Every server has access to like the battlegrounds and the arenas, and you can choose in the contested zones. You can choose to flag yourself for PvP to fight the other faction. Whereas in a PvP server, it's set up so that when you're in a contested zone, you are automatically flagged and can't unflag. So you were just it's just basically adds another element to the thing, and I think it just went to show the fact that there was such a draw to these PvP servers. They ended up opening 3 more over the weekend,
wow.
just to alleviate, because all 3 that were originally there, they were queued up like hell. So
Well-
they had, and then even the ones that they added ended up being full and high pop. So I mean, it just goes to show how much people actually enjoy good world PvP as opposed to necessarily all the strict structured stuff.
I also think it's very telling that the audience for that game are the people who have played a lot of MMOs. Like, it's not drawing a new crowd, it's the people who are fucking sick and tired of their old MMOs and want a new experience, who are willing to go in and have the experience to know that's what they want.
I completely agree. That's exactly what I was
I feel like
thinking
I would never do that kind of server if this was my first MMO, because I'd be like, fuck no, I'm going to get my face kicked in. Like,
See,
no, I want to run around.
When I started WoW, I ended up on a server with a buddy, and neither of us realized, I think, that we were on a PvP server or what PvP actually, meant at that point, as far as like what it did. So we didn't know the difference, and we went in and I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't play on a PvE server now. I don't like it as much. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. You are experienced. If this was my first MMO and you're like, oh, get WildStar and, get started, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to be able to, like, if I was on my own.
Absolutely not, because you don't know if you lose all your shit when you die. You don't know
Yeah.
if
No,
they are stealing stuff.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying
ahead of time
clearly their audience are the WoW people who are looking for something new and fun. Which I think is great, because those are going to be the best people for that community, the fucking hardcore MMO people. They're just going to make that game better.
Well, I think a part of it too is the developers have put a strong emphasis, or at least in press releases and stuff, they put a strong emphasis on the fact that they're really trying to build strong endgame content, which was a big draw in the original WoW stuff. I mean, not all of it was, spot on, but it was one of the things I think that drew people into, at least towards the endgame stuff. And a lot of newer MMOs just have been really lacking in that. Like, they focus on a lot of the lower level content and just kind of ignore, or at least put off, that they can develop it later, the end game stuff. And so when people inevitably rush through to get to max level over the first couple days, they get to the end of the game and have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that WildStar, the developers, were really trying hard to prevent from happening. And I haven't really heard much. Obviously, there's no way in hell I got to max level. I'm not power level or by any means. I actually want to enjoy the game, but...
Well, not only that, but I feel like people that do that are just going to roll 3 days in the game.
Yeah.
They just won't sleep.
Right,
And they'll take off work. Or
there were a lot of, 24-hour streams and stuff going on over the weekend, too, so...
Oh, to have that kind of free time.
Yeah. Well, I mean... those 24-hour streamers are people that are, calling off work, or people that do it full time anyway.
Yeah.
I haven't called off work, but I took vacation for Diablo 3, and I did it for Skyrim, and I definitely did it for New Vegas. I don't see a problem with that, I guess.
If you're taking,
hey man,
if you're taking vacation
day
time,
is a vacation day.
Right.
That is
right.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever done that. I feel like I have to have. For all the fucking video games I have played in my life, there wasn't a single time where I'm just not fucking going to work.
Right, yeah. No.
Maybe Skyrim. It might have been Skyrim. That, or it's just something worked out. I have to have used vacation time for a video game launch. That seems impossible not to.
I think I called off years ago once, and that was it.
Yeah.
Hey man, if you got vacation time, there's nothing wrong with I'm taking a vacation in the magical world of Skyrim.
That's
Fuck
exactly
y'all.
And that's my destination for vacation still to this day. I'll take a little
This trip was
trip.
$60. I had to pay $400 to go to Canada.
And this world is so much better, and I'm thinner than I am in real life too. It's great.
It's significantly less poutine. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, nice. All right, so is that all you played, Joel? The Wild?
Yeah, pretty much. That's all I'll be playing a lot lately. So.
All right, I guess it's down to me. I did not play a whole lot of anything this week either. I tried to play Blood Money on the PC and realized that it does not support controllers. so I
Ugh.
Super lame.
quickly turned it off. It didn't. There's some times when I don't want to use my keyboard and mouse to play a game. Like there are certain
Or
games
should.
that I love to do it with, like RTSs definitely, and I mean I've talked till I was blue in the face about games like that. But when it comes to like Hitman, when it comes to any
Yeah.
kind of like game, I want to lean back. I want to have the controller and I want to kill some fuckers.
Well,
And I don't want to have to, I don't know, sit up straight, I guess.
now I
Maybe.
played the original Hitman with a keyboard and mouse. For me, Hitman is a keyboard and mouse game just because that's always how I played it. You know, whatever. It's the same thing with like first-person shooters. If your first-person shooter was Quake versus Halo, you're going to be a controller versus keyboard and mouse guy. That being said, that is complete and utter bullshit because I am reasonably certain Blood Money came out for the Xbox 360, and the fact that there's
It
no
absolutely
controller
did. It
support
did.
Yeah, it did.
makes no fucking sense.
I mean, I'm sure I could sideload it and
No.
work it out so that I could do
I
it.
mean, yes, if you really want to play it, yes, I think you should because the game's fucking fantastic, but you should not have to. That is unreasonable.
No, it's I played the game on 360. I think it was the first 360 game that I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Most of them were kind of lackluster for me. The first 360 game that I got was that stupid Shadowrun game, and it was terrible and dog shit, and
It was terrible.
it put a bad taste in my mouth. And then I
I was
don't know.
very unhappy.
What about Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts? You never played that? That
I
was
never
a great
I never
360
played
game.
that. No.
Actually, I honestly kind of enjoyed it, but
But
it
Yeah!
did not get rave reviews.
You're a Banjo-Kazooie fan.
I am a Banjo-Kazooie fan.
But yeah, I just wanted to play it on the 360 controller. Like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that hard to ask. And it, yeah. Went to controls, and it just wanted me to configure how I wanted my keyboard. And I wanted my keyboard to be a controller.
Yeah. did you play the new one, the newest one that came out?
Absolution?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
What did you
I
think of
like
that
it.
one?
But I prefer Blood Money. I think Blood Money is the best Hitman game.
It's a different kind of game. Yes.
I'll be honest, I've never played a single Hitman game.
Really?
You,
Nope.
I have a feeling you might enjoy the Hitman
yeah,
game.
you won't
Joel.
be mad at it.
It is a game of patience and careful planning.
Right. And sometimes you fuck up and just kill everyone.
And sometimes you fuck up and you're like, well, I have this semi-automatic rifle, so this is going to work just fine. I could reset it, or I could kill everyone and
then reset it. Right, exactly. So yeah, it's usually just a bloodbath until that reset happens because you see that you made $19 and you're like, that just won't do.
Killed everyone. You owe us money.
Right. So after that kind of fiasco, I decided to try a game that I haven't played yet, which is Gratuitous Space Battles.
Mhm.
It was one of those Steam sale games that I picked up, and I liked the look of it. I remember playing on Windows 95, maybe Windows 98, playing a Star Trek game that this kind of reminded me of, just with the like space battles and it trying to be like realistic in the way that you handle it.
Is it like a real-time strategy? Is it a...
No, I would not call it real-time strategy. You set up where your mans are, like where your ships are. You give them orders as to what they should do. This is all in like a loading screen.
Okay.
You set up the ships with the equipment that you want and everything like that, and then you battle. And then they kind of do whatever the fuck they want from that moment on. I will give a disclaimer. I still haven't fucking figured this game out. It's incredibly intricate. I mean, it's
So you're setting like dominoes in motion, essentially?
pretty much, yeah. That's
It's the
kind of
Incredible Machine meets Homeworld.
I guess I've never played. I played the Incredible Machine, but I've never played Homeworld. I'd say it's not
It was
very
a space
much.
RTS.
Okay, it's not very much like the Incredible Machine.
I'm just thinking like how you set everything up and plan it and kind of set everything to do what it needs to do.
Right. No, because I mean you're giving orders, so
Okay.
And-
so you do have some interaction. You're not just sitting and waiting for the thing to play out.
no, I think you are. Like you initially give orders, and like you're gonna be an attacker, you're gonna be a whatever. But like I said, I really don't understand the game as of yet. I've won every battle that I've been in, but I have no idea how. Like
Okay.
I like say you should attack this guy, and then I say you should also attack this guy, and then they do, and I start by everyone attacking one ship. and
All right.
then they move on to the next ship, and everyone attacks the next ship. And it works out pretty well for me because they're just shooting willy-nilly at my other ships.
Huh.
But as far as the game goes, if you like that kind of thing, if you're into like,
I feel
It's a-
like I
it's a-
have to own it,
it's
like
a,
from
it's
a
it's a nerd
Humble
game.
Bundle or something like
Right.
that.
It's a nerd game. It's not a geek game, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
All right. Yeah.
It's
No,
a
that
li-
makes sense.
It's a little too intricate, and I would sit down and learn how to play it and actually get decent if there was any kind of reason to, but I don't have like I don't know. If I had a friend that was into it, like I'd give it some time. But doing it for my own sense of enjoyment, I don't think I'm going to find a lot of pleasure there. But just me. That's not my kind of game.
Yeah,
And that's really about it. I think I talked about Weather Bottom last time. I played a little more of that.
That's a good game.
Because that is a good game. It's a
Joel will
terrifying
fucking hate that game.
game. Joel, I don't think you'd hate it as much.
I think Joel would hate it.
Is this the puzzle game thing?
It's kind of a
Yeah.
puzzle game, but it's a very interesting puzzle game, I think.
You'd hate it, Joel.
You'd probably hate it, though. And that's it. So it brings us to news. I do want to talk about something a little bit, and this is a game that I feel like is being heralded currently, like people are building up.
Harold.
And that's Destiny.
Okay.
And I just want to get like your thoughts on that game. Are you
Yeah,
excited
it's Borderlands
for
with more people.
it? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be great for us.
You think?
Comes out September. It's basically shooter merged with an MMO. And you get levels, and it's basically just Borderlands 2, but serious, and more people. That's it.
So it looks interesting, but all the gameplay I have seen of it has been so scripted and so fucking carefully prepared and presented that I
Well,
feel
it's
like I don't have a good idea for how that game actually plays.
It's like what Watch Dogs was like.
Essentially, yeah, where they're like, oh, I'm going to go, oh, look at this loot. Isn't this cool? I found on this guy. Oh, no, someone's coming in. Like, I don't know. I feel like those are the kind of games that a week into them, you will know exactly whether or not people are going to keep playing it. Like, when Borderlands came out, they're like, this is stupid fucking fun. Like, there's not a lot to the game. You're blowing shit up and getting random drops from guns, but it's super fun. Like, I did not...
And the story was fantastic.
I,
You didn't play it much. All you do is play it with us.
okay.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the story is really good for Borderlands. I'm going to have to agree with that.
Me and Neil beat it multiple times.
Borderlands 2, at least. The first
Yeah,
one
Borderlands
is-
2. Borderlands 1, meh.
Yeah.
But Borderlands 2, good shit.
Borderlands 2 is a much better game than Borderlands. I'm talking about Borderlands 1 when that game came out and there really was nothing else like it.
Yeah.
I did not have high hopes for that game. It seemed kind of dumb and seemed like a generic first-person shooter. But
Agreed.
those games live and die by how fun they are to kind of go back over and over and play. So
Well, here's the thing. You can always pre-order the game, get the beta code, and it's going to be, rumors are, it's going to be in July, and then you try it out, and then if you don't like it, cancel that freaking pre-order.
That's a good call.
that's actually not a bad idea. But to be perfectly honest, I have enough shit to play. I'm just going to wait. If it's something that all my friends are picking up and it's something that people are going to be playing online, yeah, I'll absolutely pick it up because it sounds like a really interesting premise, the way, the world is kind of interconnected and
The art style
The
of the
random
game is
events
good
are showing
too.
up.
I do like the
Well,
faux
it's by
cell shaded
Bungie,
sort
man.
of thing.
Right, yeah. It's
Oh wait, are we talking about Borderlands the pre-sequel? Or are we talking about?
no, we're
No,
talking
Destiny,
about
yeah.
Destiny
Destiny.
still.
Oh, never mind.
Borderlands.
I'm not getting
We
Borderlands.
can always talk about Borderlands the pre-sequel. I'll
No,
talk about that all day.
No.
I'm not actually that excited about it either. If they build a different engine, I'd be more excited. But if it's just another DLC for Borderlands,
It's basically
I'll
just
pick it up when
another
it's-
DLC for Borderlands, but Anthony Birch wrote it, so it's going to be funny, and it's going to be good.
I don't put as much faith in these people as you do, Ryan.
I do.
I really don't.
I'm fucking gonna buy it day fucking one, and I'm going to play the heck out of that game. It's going to be great.
I hope it's good because I would be more than happy to play a game like Destiny on the PS4. That sounds to me like something I really
I was
would
talking
like.
about Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Fuck
Right.
Borderlands pre-sequel.
Well, yeah. All right, so yeah, I'm hoping it's good. It looks, the art styling looks good. The gameplay that I've seen,
There's just
although
not enough out yet.
yeah.
I want to believe.
Haven't they been advertising that game for years now, though?
Yeah, but the game's costing them like $40 bajillion, and they, you know,
500 million.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
yeah.
It sounds like it's
500
gonna have
million.
two human syndrome.
And see, and that again, why I'm not getting my hopes up. Like I really, you know, it's Bungie, you know, has put out some amazing games. They've also put out some crap games. I don't know how many of those people are actually still working with that company. Like, that shit can go either way. But it has every reason to be great, and there's nothing more that I like than a great fucking game. So
How the fuck are you spending $500 million on? I don't understand that one bit. That blows
It's an
my mind.
MMO, man. They spent how much did Old Republic cost?
I don't.
I
A lot.
can't imagine $500
100
million.
million?
It might have cost $100 million, but at $500 million, that'll put a
Yeah.
company under. Like if what happened to Knights happened to
It's Activision.
that. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Activision spills that and goes like, "Oh, sorry about the mess.
so much.
I'll
money.
clean it up."
All right. Well, thank you for entertaining me on that. So, does anybody have any news?
Oh, well, here's the big news that I found out today. Freaking Batman
is delayed.
delayed.
Yeah.
Batman is delayed, though.
It was supposed to be out in freaking October,
I
man.
never-
I'm kind of glad to hear that.
I never
because the
ever
last,
get pissed off at games being delayed ever.
the last Batman was so fucking lukewarm that
Yeah, but that was because it was made by another company.
take your goddamn time. I very rarely am I
Rocksteady has
upset.
been working on this for a while now.
Good. Let them take their time. It looks so good. I'm so excited.
I agree.
To Neil's point, like, you can't get upset when someone delays a game. If they're like, look, it's not good. Do you want it to be good? Wait another year.
Right.
Fine. I
Yeah.
got other shit to play, people. Like,
Yeah.
good. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
The people that get pissed at that, I really don't think at all. Because
I kind of wish Watch Dogs was delayed another year. You know?
I
would have loved for that game to be astounding, but
I don't think it would have helped it.
No,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I think that the game I think that it's not entertaining. Is its main
not. It's
problem.
boring.
And I think they could have taken 10 years and it still wouldn't have been entertaining.
I play a lot of boring games. Okay, I'll play point and click adventures till till I'm old and gray. But that game was boring.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying I'm not upset that they're delayed. It just makes me think that they're actually giving the time it deserves. And man, that game looks good. So
Yeah, I mean, the
They're
first
not
Arkham
just trying to-
Asylum was unstoppable. It was not a game that I particularly enjoyed playing. I'll come off the rails of saying that, which you can think I'm crazy, but
You're crazy.
I can definitely see why people would enjoy it. It just, I don't know, it wasn't for me, I guess.
You are loco.
well, I got some more news if no one else does.
Yeah, go for it.
Kind of the big news out of Nintendo is they are making an official Nintendo-released GameCube controller adapter for the Wii U
Oh heavens!
for the Smash Brothers release.
May the Lord shine down upon you.
It is quite possibly the best fan service Nintendo has done in a long time. Like, they've fucked up recently with their YouTube shit and banning Smash from, like, charity fighting tournaments and all
Well,
this
hold
shit.
on.
Like,
Did you hear about this new YouTube shit?
we're not talking about that because I'm going to get angry. So,
What? They're letting it happen.
no, they're doing a rev share, which means they're still fucking taking money away from the content creators. And they still are just taking
Yeah,
a
they're
cut off
giving,
other
they're
people's hard
giving
work.
some
So,
back.
we're not getting into this because I'm going to get fucking pissed because fuck that shit.
We
I
gotta
love
talk
Nintendo,
about
and
it.
I don't want to be mad.
We gotta talk about it.
Well, hey, let's get back to what
Anyway.
the original topic was.
The GameCube controller adapter, it is 4 ports. It takes up both USB ports, which is kind of weird, but it's a 4-port adapter. The nice part is it will work with your Wavebirds, and they're actually working with, I don't know if it's Pelican, but they're working with a third party to make new GameCube controllers. If for some reason you don't have your GameCube controllers, people sell them, trade them in. But you can still get them pretty cheap online.
Or
but
in your brick and mortar shop. I mean, they $11.99 is a pretty standard price for them.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's definitely not a
go up
shortage
now.
of game controllers. But I thought it was a super cool thing to do. It's something they could have been like, just buy some pro controllers. We're not going to support it. We're not going to support it. I thought it was a really neat thing to do. And I'm absolutely going to buy one because it's fucking weird and it's a weird Nintendo peripheral. So, other than that,
Smash.
there was it's a little late now, but when Mario Kart first came out, there was a huge expose by Digital Foundry chastising Mario Kart for the Wii U as it drops continuously down to 59 frames per second, as opposed to the 60 frames per second it was being advertised for. And this is
You gotta
not
watch
news.
out for that. It's frames per second, baby. You're losing them.
I think the Digital Foundry article is fucking whatever. Like, the game looks great. You don't fucking notice it. It was a funny article. They took themselves too seriously. But I thought the cool thing that came out of this was there has been a lot of good discussion on various websites, message boards, YouTube people, about kind of what it means for certain frame rates of games. Comparing, 30 frame rate games to 60 frame rate games, and just kind of having a decent discussion on what it means to have a quality release as it relates to the performance of the final product. And it was just kind of this thing, like, Digital Foundry put out this report saying, like, oh, it goes down to 59 frames per second, and everyone just kind of fucking rolled their eyes. But though the article isn't really news, I think the stuff that came out of it was kind of interesting. I think Total Biscuit, I'm not a huge fan of his, but he did a pretty good kind of soliloquy on the topic. And then the final piece of news I have is, well, no, it was news because it was quite literally in the news. A Canadian 4th grader won a national poetry contest by writing a sonnet about everyone's favorite Nintendo character, Waluigi.
Luigi.
Waluigi.
No, Waluigi.
Waluigi, he's the worst.
If you just Google Canadian 4th grader Waluigi poem, you'll fucking find it. But I just want to read a couple excerpts. It's like 37 lines, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But it's just like, why art thou cranky? Art thy purple knickers in a knot? Hold on, there's some other good ones.
Hold on, and he won a national poetry contest?
He won a national poetry contest because it's fucking Canada and it's fucking lawless up there. It's just weird and delightful, and I don't believe it was written by a 4th grader.
Time out. You know that Nintendo's going to take that trophy because that's
yes, he is. They're going to take 20% of his fucking trophy. Fucking bullshit. Now, Canada has different copyright laws. Yeah, but it's like 37 lines, and it's just fucking adorable, and I love Waluigi, and now I love this kid, so... Wow. Do yourself a favor and just Google Canadian 4th grader Waluigi poem. It's on NeoGAF, and it's just delightful.
Sweet. I have one thing. I don't know how huge it is, but I found it interesting. Guilty Gear, the new Guilty Gear that's coming out.
Uh-huh.
The multiplayer is going to be cross-platform, so PS3 can play with PS4 in multiplayer.
Really?
Yeah.
That is something fighting games desperately need because... I feel like the communities are not gigantic, and
Right.
matchmaking can be difficult on games a couple months after they're released.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Guilty Gear's a bigger one. I can see what you're saying. It is a very niche crowd when it comes down to it.
It would
But-
be lovely to see other games do this, and hopefully
Right,
Guilty
and that's
Gear
the-
has enough success.
That's what I was thinking. Like, is this just cracking the door open for them to slide through, or is this going to be a floodgates kind of thing? Because I don't remember this happening previously, like through consoles.
Oh.
Period.
Portal 2, you could play PC. No, you couldn't play PC. Fuck. I know there was an example of cross-platform play.
There's
don't
some
think
games.
you know
I think
that.
was it Final Fantasy 11? You could
Final
do PS2
Fantasy,
and
Final
PC.
Fantasy 11
What
and
about
14.
was Titanfall? Can you play PC Titanfall with?
No, you
I
cannot.
don't think so.
Oh, all right.
I mean, granted, they're both Sony systems, PS3 and PS4. But I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. Like it's idiot move. Like why hasn't this happened before?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
you
sure
know
there are
why it
technical
hasn't.
limitations, but putting that extra effort, if it really helps their community, maybe other games will see it as an advantage and put the extra effort into it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have any news for us? Any questions, comments, any current events?
Why don't you like this YouTube thing?
We're not getting into it. Maybe another day we will talk about Nintendo and their
You're all hot and
treatment
bothered.
of their fans.
By this hot button issue.
Yeah, well, there's more than enough people talking about it on the web. My 2 cents. I am not a content creator that has experienced the wrath of Nintendo, so I don't really have,
A
any
vested.
food in the fire. So it just makes me upset to see a company that I love take credit for other people's work. Leave it at that.
Sure. All right. Well, that more of a somber note. Going down on a downward note.
Debbie Downer! Thanks,
right.
Blandy.
Well-
Any video game releases happening? What's coming out next week, Ryan?
Nothing.
Oh,
Yeah, jack shit. Though today,
it's
if
E3,
you are
so-
a PlayStation Plus member, new games came out. Was Trying to, which everyone seems to hate, which I don't really understand why. Pixel Shooter Ultimate, which is actually supposed to be pretty good. It's the Pixel Junk guys. Those are both for the PS4. Pixel Junk for the Vita, and NBA 2K13 or some horseshit for the
PS3.
PS3 because
2K14.
they couldn't fucking sell it, so they're giving it away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sports games, I don't see how they sell. Because
If you like sports, it's you
'Cause
want the
if you
updated
like
rosters. You want to recreate the season along with you want to play the game before the game is played. I understand it. I don't participate in it, but I kind of see where people are coming from
Right
with
on.
that shit.
All right. Well, if nobody has anything further, that's gonna be the end of episode 14 of the Pixelship Podcast. We thank you for listening, all of our millions and millions of listeners, and you'll find us here next week if you're looking for articles on or reviews or anything like that. You can go to pixelship.net. And signing off, we have Ryan Blandy.
Ryan Blandy, fine.
My hips don't lie.
Ryan Hayes.
I'm going to be both Ryans.
All right. And Joel Hartlob.
Okay, bye.
And I am Neil Lebo. All right. Enjoy yourself. Good night.